Hello guys, I am back from holiday to make my videos again. Now anyone who sent me a message, thank you very much. Yeah, I've just been away basically, a family getaway tradition. Yeah, anyway, I'll cut that shit anyhow. Anyway, thanks for the messages and I'm back. What I want to talk about in this video mainly is TNA and the ECW invasion, or ECW pay-per-view, one last stand thing, the current state of TNA, the product, and yeah, just general annoyances that I'll go through as well also. Anyway. So the TNA ECW pay-per-view thing, I think that people are missing the point completely on this by asking, do we want to see ECW again? I think the thing that you've got to ask yourself, especially if you're a TNA fan, is this actually good business for TNA? At a time when TNA are just establishing again the one rating, just above the one on a consistent basis, you know, it's picking up the actual product. Has probably been the best episodic wrestling show that I have seen in years, just recently anyway. Is this good for business? Factors to take into account. How much are the ECW guys working for? I've read on the news sites that they're doing pretty cheap. And is this, you know, the fan base that they're going to bring in, is it going to be big enough to make it financially worthwhile for TNA? And if it is, good. It's good business. On the downside of all this, and this is me with a sensible head on, the people who are going to tune in for this pay-per-view, apart from the people who are loyal TNA fans, what about the audience or a new audience or a greater number of people at TNA will probably be hoping to attract to this, is these people are going to come and watch Hardcore Justice for ECW. Alright, to my understanding, how this whole thing has been set out, Hard Justice is going to have no element of TNA in it whatsoever. So this new audience, or old ECW original audience, or whatever it is that tune in to watch ECW guys, aren't necessarily going to stay around and watch TNA afterwards. They're going to watch ECW, think thank you, and then go. You know, there's nothing TNA there for them to tune in, watch ECW show and think, oh, that was good, that was TNA, you know, I'll tune in next Thursday or Saturday, wherever you live. So, you know, that to me, is it really progressing TNA in any way, shape or form? It's open to debate, I suppose. As a fan, I am delighted. I really am. I can't wait for Hard Justice. Anyone who says, you know, ECW is a dead horse, okay? It has been beaten and lifted more times than I care to remember. But I kind of get where Tommy Dreamer's coming from. My idea for this angle would have been Eric Bischoff and Hogan trying to get the company away from Dixie Carter. That's what Sting's been on about. That would have been one angle, and Dixie knew about it from the start and brought in the ECW guys to fight Hogan and Bischoff and whoever sided with Hogan and Bischoff. And have like a Hogan Bischoff slightly TNA against Dixie and the ECW guys angle kind of thing. I thought that would have been good. They may do it, I don't know. And this would probably, if I'm honest, be the last thing I would have, you know, thought about doing another one last stand pay-per-view, but they're doing it, so you can't complain. So, you know, but from a fan's point of view, great. You know, I'm happy. No, that's everything. The other two things missing from this would be Paul Heyman. If Paul Heyman doesn't sign, which is dragging his ass a bit, so I'm not sure if he will do or not. And the location. Now, people saying Hammerstein Ballroom, no. To me, the original one night stands was a slight disappointment that it was in Hammerstein Ballroom, and I understand why it was in Hammerstein Ballroom. I think it was something like TNA's biggest live attendance, TNA, ECW's biggest live pay-per-view attendance, whatever, at Hammerstein Ballroom, but it had to, you know, TNA, alright, they try to look out what they're doing. How much can the ECW arena cost to rent out? TNA are even going to do house shows there. That was before the ECW angle came in. So it can't be that expensive to rent out the old bingo hall, the ECW arena, and just hold the pay-per-view there. It would give the pay-per-view so much. It really would. But anyway, name that I've read that has been confirmed to main event in this, Jerry Lynn, fantastic. RVD Jerry Lynn for the television title was an epic match back in the day, and hopefully this will live up to that one as well. So the current TNA product has been very, very good. Very good. Like I said earlier on, it's best episodic wrestling that I've seen in years. The Impact has gone. The Global Championship change, I'm happy with that. Never been a big fan of Rob Terry. I think he's a big dumb cunt. He's not a really good worker. They tried to do the whole Goldberg blueprint on him where he doesn't say much, he comes out, smashes people, 3 minutes he's back in the locker room picking his ass. Didn't work. He hasn't got the charisma, he hasn't got the presence, he hasn't got the personality for that. Excuse me. Also, with people saying that with this whole ECW comeback thing, that the Global Championship should have been changed to a hardcore title, I completely disagree with this. The mid-card needs a championship, it needs a title. It just does. You know, otherwise you've got a pointless mid-card, you've just got people wrestling for nothing, really. You know, they're not building to anything, apart from people just say, oh, well, they're jobbers or they're mid-carders, you know, so it does need a title. My point all along on this hardcore element thing, the X Division should be hardcore. It should be no limits, it should be extreme. The X Division motto is, it's not about weight limits, it's about no limits. We'll make it truly about no limits, no rules. The X Division would be epic if it had no rules. Paul Heyman and TNA. Now, you know, I did float this idea about a bit, and I'm gonna float it again. With the change in booking in TNA, with the change in product, and how good it has been just lately. My poser, is Paul Heyman already signed with TNA? Now, here's the thing. Hogan and Bischoff haven't been at Impact. Now, yeah, they might have totally valid reasons, but I am creating a situation because I'm an idiot. But if they're not there because Paul Heyman's on board and running the show, maybe. Dixie Carter says she had a big announcement that would change TNA, the face of TNA, but then she was stopped from making this announcement. But we are led to believe this announcement is still forthcoming. So, was the announcement that they had signed Paul Heyman, but she was told not to announce it? It was going to be saved for a later date, when it was more appropriate, and the announcement still to come is that they have signed Paul Heyman? Who knows? Dreamer's speech on Impact, as I said, the angle that they actually chose to go with, I wouldn't have gone with personally, but the actual speech on Impact, it made me believe that that is the direction they should go. You know, I bought into what Tommy Dreamer said. I bought into, you know, ECW was dead. It had a great send-off with the 2 one-night stands, but then WWE just raped it. They absolutely raped ECW. They made me sick for what they did with ECW. Here's the thing with WWE that I didn't understand at the time, and I still don't. The WWE had Raw and SmackDown basically for the kids. Okay, would it have hurt the WWE to just put on just one show? It was only 1 hour, just one show for the adults. Would it really have hurt them to give the adult audience, the audience that made WWE what it is today, the audience that got WWE through near bankruptcy, that got WWE, you know, through the Monday Night Wars, that saved them, that brought them to the dance? That was us. Would it have hurt them? You know, they've abandoned us and turned us back and pissed and laughed at us faces and insulted our intelligence. And some people are still so idiotic that they will not walk away from WWE. They would like to watch Barney the Dinosaur in a wrestling ring. But would it have hurt them to have just made ECW like it was for 1 hour on Sci-Fi and just make it for adults? You already had 2 PG shows. But yeah, no, they're just pissed all over the legacy of ECW, and no, Vince McMahon, it's probably like he got some joy out of doing that, cunt. And yeah, so yeah, I bought into Dreamer thing. Not so sure if it was heartfelt with some of the speeches I've seen Dreamer give, because it seemed like he was trying to squeeze a tear out and nothing was coming. But anyway, it was still a great speech, great delivery by Tommy Dreamer. I bought into what he said, I believed what he was saying, and I'm running out of time last minute. Psyched for Hard Justice, can't wait for it. And yeah, good to be back, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. Do it now. And see you later.